And you're starting right out of the gate with one of these booths that's touch and smell and everything oriented. I kind of have this urge to touch things. Am I allowed to touch things in this booth?
You are allowed to touch everything.
Including the rabbit?
Including the rabbit.
Okay, I'm gonna...
This is Pretty Birdie.
Hi, Pretty Birdie. Pretty Birdie was here yesterday walking around in a little, and there's a little trail of fiber following after this animal.
There is always a trail of fiber. And she is going to get sheared today.
So you shear a rabbit or you pull a rabbit?
Okay, these are German Angora rabbits.
Okay.
They are different breeds.
Okay.
In the Angoras. There's the satin, there's the English, so the French, and giants. And so the Pretty Birdie is a German. Germans are not pluckable.
Well, no, I would say not because I'm half German. Well, maybe I ain't pluckable. Anyway, go ahead.
So we shear them every 3 months. She's on an average of 10 to 12 pounds under there.
So 10 to 12 pounds of a rabbit or 10 to 12 pounds of insulation?
10 to 12 pounds of rabbit without all the foof.
So you're allowed to call it foofy because this is a foofy rabbit.
It is a foofy rabbit.
So how does this? How do you maintain an animal like this? Because like I said, there's this trail of what do I call that? Sort of like dandelion fluff.
That is
wow.
That is wool. Angora wool. So if you've ever had an Angora sweater or have heard of Angora sweaters, it came from a rabbit.
Now I'm so glad you used that phrase, Angora wool and rabbit, and all of those in the same sentence, because many people think that wool is a sheep and that's all it is.
And they're narrow-minded, yes. Texas is so blessed with so many fiber animals. And to add this German Angora breed to Texas, I feel so honored. My husband and I started this 9 years ago. And we have shipped all these rabbits all over the U.S. to Texas. Birdie came from Georgia.
Georgia, not Georgia Eastern Bloc, but Georgia.
Georgia, the state.
Nearby.
She's a Georgia peach.
So now, but you say she's a German rabbit.
She is a German. Her breed is German.
Okay.
Yes.
So now tell me the difference between English, German, because you have a strain of animal that is called a German rabbit, but that means the genetics are, I mean, it's not a classification, it's not an adjective.
So,
right? Adjective, thank you.
Yes, and the Germans are not pluckable. You shear them. The English, you see people, they ask me all the time, they set the rabbit in their lap and they pluck it and they spin off the rabbit.
We've seen that, okay.
So that is the English. So since she does not have to be combed every 3 days to harvest your wool, she can grow until I'm ready to shear it.
Man, that's a lot of, do I say fur?
Wool.
It's a lot of wool. Man, there's a long way to get to that rabbit.
And that's, you can see her crimped.
Yeah, she's solid down there underneath that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, but again, I'm going to ask about this differentiation between English, German, all the rest of that. So if you have horses, you might have, I know you're a vendor here, so I know it's going to be busy. If you have horses, you might have an Appaloosa. You might have a quarter horse.
Right.
And yet that's not necessarily country oriented, but they are breed specific. So is German a different breed from English, or is it an Angora rabbit and then there's the German slant?
It is an Angora rabbit, and they are all like dogs are dogs, but yet you have an Aussie, you have a pug. It's just a different.
It's just like a different breed.
Almost.
Yeah, because they will act very. I mean, that's a whole different management scheme, shearing versus plucking, right?
And they're very docile. They love to be held. They're very personable. They have personalities. They love to get treats.
This fluff on the ears, I'm just having a hard time staying away from.
That's a tassel.
It looks
Those
like
are called
tassel.
her tassels.
Okay, I'm going to pay attention to you. I'm going to stop because I want to reach for this rabbit fairly consistently. You get that a lot?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now, when you're producing fiber, we have fiber-producing animal. Nutrition is really important, correct?
Correct.
Same thing with rabbits?
Same with rabbits.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta have the best, higher protein ratio to where she gets the best fiber and the best health, because we want her to live 12 years.
Yeah. Is that good for a rabbit?
That's a good rabbit.
Okay, good chicken too.
Yeah, a good 12 years will give her a good lifespan.
Now, does she produce wool for the entirety of that lifespan, and is
Yes.
it at the same quality?
Pretty much.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Depends. Sometimes having a baby, a couple of births along the ways, it kind of shortens it for a little bit, but then the health, it comes back.
Yeah, I hear that happens in many different species.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You know us women, the babies come first, and that's the same with Birdie. She does great being a mom. I love her feet. I'm sorry, I'm always playing with feet.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has a hard time like
I'm
not
not a
touching the
foot
rabbit.
fetish, but like feel her little toes. They're so long.
I'm trying to get down there, but it's, oh boy, are they ever! Wow. So she's got a kind of a toe like we have. I mean, that's a long way to the foot.
The foot is as long as my hand.
So that's the equivalent of our elbow, or that's the actual foot part.
That's her elbow.
Wow. Okay, so how do you keep one of these guys clean? Do you have to wash it all the time?
Never washed her.
Really?
Never.
So is it, she
She
maintains
cleans
herself?
herself. She cleans herself.
Wow. Okay, so how many rabbits do you have?
36.
Oh man, you knew that right off the bat. Do they procreate like rabbits procreate?
No.
They don't.
No. German rabbits are very hard to reproduce and get babies. You think about, that's a lot of wool in there. That's
Yeah.
a lot of body heat.
Yeah.
I think of it as like men. If you're wanting to, you go to the doctor and you say, hey, I want to try to have a baby. And they'll say, what kind of underwear does your husband wear? And you're like, nah, well, he needs to have some boxers to increase the sperm count.
Well, you're not kidding about Rowdy, are you?
Can we go there?
We can go anywhere you want.
So that's how I look at it. I would love if they could all just da-da-da-da-da, but it don't. And her, this heat. Now, once I get her sheared, and I have some boys that I've already sheared so that they're getting their little swimmers all up to par, and I'll come back with Birdie and she'll be all sheared. So everything's easy access.
Yeah, because I was going to ask. So do they have to be sheared in order to procreate? Because that's a long way. This is one of those things that, just like many of our agricultural animals, we sort of tweaked them a little, right?
They don't have to be sheared to do it, but it sure helps if you want to be successful.
I mean, I'm not a pervert, but I would actually like to see how that's logistically possible, because for people that might be listening for podcasts, this is a long way into where you hit the rabbit part. I mean,
And
it really is.
they hold on to her neck, the bucks, and hang on. And yes, they're called bucks and does.
Bucks and does. Okay, yes, just like deer.
Just like deer.
Wow, but they don't procreate like deer.
Nope.
Wow. Okay, so what else? I'll keep petting the rabbit here, but what else do you have at Rowdy?
Oh, at Rowdy Ranch. Woo.
So I say, what do you not have at Rowdy Ranch?
Yeah. In fact, Jennifer, her chickens all running around here. A lot of them came from me.
Okay.
So we have, I love colors. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So-
very obvious from your beautiful booth here.
So I'm a colored person, and so every chicken I can get that has a different colored egg, I buy it. So I have over 100 some chickens running around free range at Rowdy Ranch. I like the olive egg and the Americanos for the blue eggs and the pink eggs and the copper marrons to get that dark chocolate.
Dark brown, yeah.
So the other thing that we have is Muscovies. Mm-hmm. My husband likes them because they are a nice big egg.
Yeah, duck eggs are actually supposed to be pretty rich too, from what I understand. The bakers like the duck eggs,
The bakers like the duck eggs because they're lighter. They don't make their cake heavy to fall. So, and then we have Sebastopol geese.
Okay.
Well, look that
Curly.
one.
Across the way,
Curly.
we met a gal, Kay, I believe is her name. She had the feathers on the hat, and they do curl. I mean, there's definitely a curl in that feather.
They're called ribbons.
Ribbons, okay.
They have ribbons on their backs.
All right.
So I have 28 Sebastopol geese.
Holy cow. Nothing sneaks up on your ranch, do they?
No, they are very docile. They're not going to hurt you. They will eat corn out of your hand. And they only lay eggs from December to March. So right now I'm incubating as many eggs as I can get. Now, a baby, 1-day-old baby, if you look up Metzer Farms.
I know Metzer. We've been to Metzer, actually.
Okay, a Sebastopol female is $235.
I don't doubt it. He's got some good stuff up there, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's got really interesting breeds. So if you want a Sebastopol, that's kind of almost the only place, at least I know on the West Coast, that you're really
And that's where I order mine to get a new bloodline coming in.
Yeah.
So I have roughly 30 babies I hatch each year. And I have a waiting list.
I bet you do.
I have a waiting list.
Yeah. Especially now it's hard to ship, isn't it? We got avian influenza coming through the country and the world, and so yeah, it's nice to have a local source for things like that, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And people who buy birds from me last year call right back and say, put me on the list for next year because I want more. They're beautiful birds. And
so this is kind of interesting. You have rabbits and geese that have a very limited procreating little span there, right?
right.
So does that make it hard to maintain a ranch?
Well,
Your timing is everything, right?
everything has a season.
Yes, it does.
So I breed my goats in the fall to get spring baby goats popping around. I only breed them.
So boy, oh boy, it's early March right now. You're kind of hitting your busy season.
I am hitting my busy season,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the shearing is going to be started. It's started, but I've only got like 5 sheared so far out of the 30. So the next few weeks will be shearing. The geese are in the incubator, so by the time I'm finished shearing, they're going to be hatching and they'll be ready for customers. The baby goats will be getting weaned off of mamas, so they'll be ready for customers. So, everything has a plan at Rowdy Ranch.
Are your goats for the soap or are your goats for the, is it some sort of fiber animal?
Both.
Oh, of course it is. So what kind of goats do you have?
I have Nubians that I milk
Okay.
and make the goat milk soap. And then I have the Angoras, beautiful curls. And I like to dye and play. So this is some
Holy cow, that's
Angora.
a gorgeous red. Look at that.
Angora baby curls.
May I open this up a little bit?
Yes.
Please? Okay. I'm gonna give you part of
Birdie.
Birdie. Thank you. Look
So
at
that is
red.
Angora.
Wow.
Angora curls.
Sorry, I'm
And
dripping here.
so yeah.
Wow, that's soft. Ooh. Yeah, and look at your shirt now. Can we get a shot of her shirt?
It's not life if you're not covered in something.
I guess not. Well, I'm looking at this animal here. She's kind of acting like a rabbit. She's hopping around and looking at things. So
Yeah, she's going to nibble.
Yeah.
Now, this is some roving. This is 100%.
May I touch? Please?
Yes. This is.
Knitter's handshake or sweater, right?
Yes. So this is 100% German Angora rabbit ready to spin.
That is incredibly soft.
That is natural colors, no dyes.
Look at that beautiful gray. Oh,
That is the color of the bunnies.
so that's why you have to have more bunnies, right? Is you can tell your honey that?
Yep, get more colors, get more wool. The another bag.
Oh boy,
of
look at the sunshine off of that.
That is a beautiful bag of mohair that I'm going to mix it with bunny.
Wow, that is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. Now I know we might have to come back to you again here in a little bit because I know it's 9 o'clock and the shebang is starting up here pretty soon. So can we come back and do a little bit more on your soaps? Because that, like I said before, this is one of those got to touch it, got to smell it booths.
Oh, I worked
lovely.
in dermatology for 35 years, and I even had dermatologists buy my soap. So the olive oil, coconut oil, palm oil, all that wonderful. And then you got the vitamin A and in your goat milk and sealing all that into your skin. We get so dry, our skin in Texas, you got to have some soap.
So I'm going to ask you about that because I know goats have some other properties that are excellent for the human body. But and we're going to talk more about the loom, and we got it. Where the heck did Bunny go? Okay.
She's right there.
Okay, so if people want to find you, they go to, I'm reading up here, Rowdy Ranch, Texas, Angora rabbits, Aussie, and goats. Boy, we didn't talk about the Aussies, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Okay, Rowdy Ranch, Texas on Facebook, and Rowdy Ranch TX at gmail.com if people want to say, hey, can I get a rabbit?
And when you see my phone number, you see last 4 zeros.
How do you manage that?
People say, that's a spam number. I said, no.
That's
when
you.
I called and said, I need a phone number that I can remember, the lady said, what? And I said, I am blonde. Numbers is not my thing. I have got to have an easy phone number or I will never remember it to tell anybody. So she said, how about 4 zeros? Ding!
You could sell that for money now,
No,
I'm sure.
no.
No.
It's mine. Mine, oh mine.
Okay, this is the Rowdy booth. All right, well, we're going to come top shop with you again. Meanwhile, we got to find, your rabbit's off in the...
She's good.
Maybe you should meet the armadillo over there because we saw that one coming in too. Probably have one of those on your ranch, I bet, huh?
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.